Welcome to episode 11 of the Mirandus Farmer's Almanac. I'm your host Xana, and co-hosting with me is Wolfie the Wolf at Night. This episode, we explore horses and some of the mechanics around how these lovely beasts may work. Where do they come from on the game end? And what are all the ways that we can use them? Though this short, speculative discussion mainly scratched the surface into our rideable companions, maybe it can open up the imagination for a broader discussion into the mechanics around them that may enhance the experience that is Mirandus. Alright, let's listen in. Me and myself have been just rabbit holes, man. It's been a while since we did one of these.
Yeah.
So I apologize to everybody. So we're going to talk some horses today. What do you think?
You know me and horses.
I know you and horses, right? So you're the guy to talk to, right? If anybody's to talk to, it's about horses. So, I don't know. Since the beginning of when we started doing this show, I was trying to catch up to the round table of Gala, figure out what's going on with Mirandus. What can we expect from this game? And I don't know how you feel about it. I've learned that they don't know yet either, right? They're just rolling it out as they... I'm sure they know what they're doing, but, as for the long play on the game, it's just you're discovering how everything is going to work. I think it's time
Concept.
Concept. It's time to stop asking questions and start doing suggestions, right? So when they do these AMAs, maybe we should throw out suggestions, because McCarthy always asks, what do we think's cool? What would you guys like, right? So I think it's, throwing out suggestions may be a good idea. I learned this, though, with McCarthy, right? There's, I guess, I was going to say one rule, but there's two rules. Rule one, don't suck, right? Rule two, simulation. It's got to be like simulation, man. So anything we discuss on our speculation of, the Mirandus Farmer's Almanac, it's got to be following that number one rule of simulation. So with that, we'll apply that to our discussion of horses. So let's dissect this. Like, if they're going to come up with some stuff with horses, how does it begin? And it begins like, do you get the horses out of the store? What comes first, the chicken or the egg, right? Are you getting the horses in the game or out of the store? What do you say?
I think it'll be a basic kit that comes with the thing to start. I think that's going to be the easiest entry point for them instead of, I know they want to make their money, so I'm not going to say that they won't put them in the store, but the problem with the store is you should only be able to purchase them if you own a stable.
I like that idea.
And of caliber, because if everybody owns all the horses, they could knock everybody out like certain people were able to secure all the stables at one point that were left on the market before a large sum of them. And if that took place, that would pretty much lock out a lot of people that own stables.
But
they wouldn't have...
How would they, if they put it in a store, how are they going to know if you own a stable? Unless it's reading your wallet or something. I don't see them doing something like that.
Yeah, so that's why I'm saying the easiest route for them, honestly, is that all the businesses need to come with some kind of basic kits.
Okay.
So if you're a farmer, you get seed packs, you get some manure or whatever, you get everything in a ready set to get yourself going, and then from there you got to keep yourself balanced, you know what I mean?
Well, what about this? What about just because you own a stable doesn't mean you're a breeder. You just own the stable that they breed in. So you own the stable, and then they will pay you so they can breed their horses within your stable. What if it works like that? I think it'd be more like with the seed packs. I own, farming deeds, right? Doesn't mean that, I lease out the land to somebody that needs those seed packs so they can grow on the plot that they rent from me. So I think it would work something like that. And I assume that, every aspect of this game, they're just going to break it into pieces and sell it off piece by piece, including the horses. So I thought the idea would be cool that with the horses, how you breed them, they could have different types of horses. And you breed these horses together. Maybe, I don't know if that's how it starts or not, like based on strength or speed.
Well, we already know that they've got them broke down into the classes to some degree because the Majestic stable is the only one out of all of them that states that it produces the Dysteras.
That was said?
Yeah, that's what the Majestic's for. It produces the like illuminous Dysteras horses, and Dysteras means war, so
So
it's the
that's
war
like,
class horse.
that's the work class horse or like something else?
No, that's a war class horse. That means that horse is capable of taking like explosions near it and gunfire and stuff and not like flinching and jumping around and stuff.
Okay. So
And
maybe
they're usually like a huge stallion or something, so you can use them for running down people and stuff as well.
so you'd be thinking that the type of stable you have is the type of horse you can breed?
I think that's, yeah. So if you read the Grand Stable, it states that stable is able to produce like a more luxury type horse or a higher end horse and stuff. And then the large, I believe, is like you're getting down to just above. You're probably building quarter horses or something out of the large.
Man, I just can't wrap my head around how does breeding happen then? Like you buy
Breeding, you
you,
would
you buy the horse out of the
that
stables, and then what are you breeding with? You breeding with two horses that you bought out that are not the stables but the shops?
So that's why I think it would be a kit. So I'm assuming every stable would get two horses to start. So that's where you would have to come into play and start breeding if you own a stable and start trying to make horses, and you'll get like skill sets depending on a rarity basis. It's, the roll of the dice on what happens, but the higher the level of the stable, the better the horse is going to be produced in that stable.
Okay. I don't think Gallet's going to roll it that way. I think
And then they'd
they're
have
going to
to
want to
change
sell it in the
their.
shop. I just don't know how they would roll it through selling it through the shop. I don't think they're just going to. Would they? Would they just give stuff away like the stable just comes with the horses and you start breeding them?
How is it giving away? You just spent 25 grand or whatever it was on
Yeah,
a Majestic stable.
but anybody that wants to breed in there, that gives you exclusive rights to breed rather than somebody else wanting to buy horse and wanting to breed horses, but they don't have the stable to breed them in. So you get paid for them breeding within your stable, but
I
I,
don't know. I would
yeah,
assume it goes both directions. Like
okay.
you get privileges on both sides. I don't know, honestly. I know that they want to get their money in all directions, that's for sure.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I'm sure they want there's something to be made, and whether selling the seed packets, because what comes first, the seeds or just I don't know where the seeds come from, where these crops come from. They got to start from somewhere, and I imagine they would all start from this Gala store, as well as the horses, and they'd have different types of horses in there too. Correct? I mean, I
But
don't know.
see, if
Maybe
that
you
was
can
the
only
case,
breed these types of horses in those certain stables. If you buy them out of the store, you need to breed it in this stable. So it doesn't exclude like any player from breeding. They just need to come to your stable if they want to breed the best horse.
well, we know their plan is that they want to supposedly in like the next 2 months that we would all be going into the alpha game and setting up shops and finding our lands and stuff, which we know isn't going to happen. But in that case, then they were trying to say that they were going to give us a period there to get ourselves situated enough so when traffic was to come in, that we would have stuff ready for our shops. So whatever their time span in their head was in between alpha to beta, or even just rolling it out into the general mass of like even gold or general gala, that was their plan. They're trying to figure out how to set everybody up in that space from A to B.
I think that A to B
And
is going to come just through development itself, man.
Yeah, well, I
This
think
game's going to be. They're going to be building this game for years.
yeah,
Years, dude.
I can tell you that for sure
Yeah.
already.
Yeah, they when they were like way back in the day, they were talking about the end of the year. I'm like, no way, man. I mean, this game, they only got what? I just like watched some video on Star Atlas. 400 employees, dude, working on one game. I'm like, oh my god, it's insane.
Yeah,
So
and they're outreaching to a bunch of other companies to contract out because they're
yeah,
trying to do it so big.
but I know Gala's growing quickly. So I mean,
Yeah, we're at 100 plus 100.
yeah, it's 100 plus. I thought 18 were working on Mirandus, but I could be totally wrong. I'm just pure speculation. But back to horses. So this is our options, right? You're talking about a packet, right? So you get horses that come with your stables. 2, they're in the store and you can buy them. And is that all we got to go on? That's all.
Yeah.
That's all
Well,
I can see.
I kind of look at it like most of the games I'm looking at right now, including Star Atlas. You buy a ship, you get a crew, you're the captain. So they're giving you everything, a full tank of gas, get your crew, and then once the mini game kicks off, you're ready to go and start the game instead of trying to fumble and figure out gas, crew, and everything else. And if you want to upgrade and do all that stuff, you're supposed to be able to do that here in time. But so I look at it that way. I'm looking at Gloomy in their space. He's doing the same thing as similarities, where if you buy this item, everything is included with that item once it starts off, so you're not struggling trying to figure out how to fill that space or whatnot. So I mean, I take it from that space, but at the same time, I know Gala like.
I don't think they're going to miss out on that revenue.
No, I don't either. Honestly, the more you push it at me, I say,
Especially
been
if you
telling you to stop
you
it.
put out so many horses too, right? So somebody doesn't have a stable, it's got a bunch of horses, and they're breeders, man. You just have the stable for them to breed in, but they want to be breeders. So
No.
that
See, it
gives that
comes
gives
down
the
to that.
players
I'm like,
opportunity to do stuff in the game that have a
you
great
can,
role. Nobody misses out, right? Nobody, no matter how late you come in, you're not missing out. Because now there's horses, right? When they launch those in the store, now you can become a great breeder. You just need the place to breed it at.
you're killing my fucking dreams here, bro.
I'm telling you, man. Just expect them to do stuff like this, right? And this is great for new players jumping in the space because there's always going to be something. We haven't even gotten into weapons yet. Wait till they're talking about zones, so we're just talking about horses. They could have camels, right? And these camels could run on they can go much further and need less water, right? Now you're talking about, just how our races for our characters, there's races for the mounts, right? I don't know if ostriches play a role or fucking goats for climbing mountains or shit. But I'm just saying, you can breed whatever. What's important is where you're breeding them at, whether it's a majestic or a grand or a large. Maybe you can only do so much with each tier, right? And just a basic stable might not even breed at all. It could be housing, right? A hotel, just like an inn for one of our
Yeah, it might
players.
just
Get
be
good
tack
rest.
or something.
Yeah, just
It's a
good
tack
rest.
location. Go in and get your hooves and stuff, horseshoes redone.
Yeah, didn't even think of that. Horseshoes. That might be a thing.
Yeah,
Just
well, it'll be a tack. It says that stables and barns and stuff for tack use. So
right. What do you think that stuff
yeah.
does?
That's reshoeing and like cleaning hooves and retrimming them.
What's the purpose of that stuff?
Filing.
I know nothing about horses, so what's the purpose of putting on horseshoes? Do horses
So
need
horse,
shoes?
yeah. Well, if you're running them on like desert ground and stuff, they don't need it, or
Sure.
like the regular ground. But when you're running them on concrete and asphalt and hard surfaces, you want to put shoes on them because their hoofs are made of the same stuff our nails are made of. Can't think of the name of it, but it's the
Calcium.
same.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's the same material technically, and it wears down real fast. So the shoes are put on in order to keep the hooves from taking like heavy burns and stuff technically into the hoofs.
So how would they imply that in a game?
So I've
What?
seen too many games all do the same thing because the games are all going to have probably stone roads and stuff. So you're going to be running the horses on a stone road mostly through towns. There'll be a lot of dirt paths and stuff. Normally in real life, dirt paths won't bother it, but once you go into the towns, that's where you want them shoes. So shoes just stay on naturally until they break off, break or fall off.
But what are they protecting from? I mean, it can't be so much simulation where it's just like it's
It's
dumb.
just a sink, I think.
A sink to what?
It'll be a sink, a way to generate money and burn money.
Yeah, but what's the shoes do? You put shoes on your horses. Does basically for game aesthetics, like I put these shoes on my horse and he like I don't know, runs faster. Except
Yeah.
having shoes on your horse might not run faster.
Well, it
Would
might
that
make your horse actually perform better because now your horse isn't going to worry about like going so far and it
does it
pretty much
fatigue?
kills its poop off.
Okay.
I don't know the game how it's going to play out.
Yeah, it's all
honestly, like in that
speculation.
space. But
But
I'm just thinking that we already know it states tax, so they're probably going to throw like you're servicing a horse when you drop it off there while you go run around doing your stuff.
sure. Yeah, maybe it counts as a service somehow, like replenishment.
Yes, they feed your horse, they water your horse, they run the tack on the shoes and like brush out your horse, check over your saddle or whatnot. Maybe that needs some repairs. You got to take that to the leather
So,
worker.
so like you would buy I don't know, a rejuvenation kit, and this kit costs, that stable owner this much iron and this much food, and I don't know, into a package, and you buy that package. I don't know enough charge. I'm just winging that out.
So
Jeez.
tack, like when I first got into horses and goats and stuff, I paid a girl to come out that was doing it her whole life, and she'd spend half the day at my house taking care of everything on all the animals, and at the end of the day I'd pay her like $350 or something like that. But she filed all the horses and goats hoofs down to the right specs, so they were good. Horses were reshoed because I lived down in the valley at that time.
And they're healthy
um,
again. Long story short, they're healthy again, right?
yeah, man,
Since
it
she
was
she
totally worth
wasn't
it.
stable.
Yeah, it's totally worth everything that she came out to do for your animals because she's technically your veterinarian prior to the vet.
Okay. Okay, cool. So what do you think of hitching post? What is that? What's that do?
Hitching post in real life is just the thing that sits in front of like
So
a bar or something in the saloon time.
you think your horse is just
And
going to run off if you don't have this?
yeah, especially since they made so many of them. Every deed is going to need one. If not, there's
Yeah,
going to be issues.
multiple. How many horses you think can fit on a hitching post?
I think you only need one.
Okay. For as many
I don't
horses
see
as you
them
want?
having a. I think, well, yeah, because I don't see like the towns ain't going to be that flooded. Maybe, I don't know. I couldn't really see you needing multiple because there's so little spaces already. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah. It's
Like
interesting. If you
having a
didn't
hitching
hitch him
post
up, would he just be
already.
like walking around wandering?
I already hear people like already tell me they're not buying a hitching post or whatever because it takes up a space, and I'm like,
Yeah, it might be important. There's,
yeah, I'm like, there's a reason that thing's there, man.
yeah, that's true. There's a reason why it's all there. All right. So, all right, what do we cover? We cover how we get the horses, right? So,
Just-
breeding horses. So, okay, I bought these horses, and I take them to. What do you got? What's the biggest one you got?
Currently, the Stairs owns Grand all the way down, and recently somebody has come in and helped with a Majestic.
Very nice.
So I don't own the Majestic,
Sure.
but I am assisting and whatnot.
As a professional of the horses. All right.
Yes.
So, somebody rolls in with the Majestic. what do they breed with? So is there like, I don't know, would you assume there's going to be like
I'm
different
figuring
types
if
of
you're
horses? Like, what are you breeding with, and what's the best stats? What's the worst stats? What's okay stats? What do you think?
so I'm figuring the mules or something will probably be the lowest in horses or something or some kind of just wagon horse,
Sure.
and that would probably be the basic stables or a large stable area. Um, then you get your quarter horses, which will be your ranching horses and stuff. Those horses are very skilled in handling protection of you and of your livestock and whatnot. They're designed pretty much for rounding everything up and keeping control of whatnot. Donkeys are just as good too, though, for these jobs. Um,
You
let's
think
see.
there's purebreds or mixing of the
Yeah,
breeds?
well, I think if it's now that we know that there's going to be different values in these stables, right? So you're not going to want to take your crappy horse, the bottom of the breed, and then take it to the majestic and have to pay the extreme fee of using that stable's services. And you might get a bump or two up in the thing, but the speculations is you lost money technically. So you're going to want to keep your horse somewhere within the range of what its value is. You want to take it maybe to the next stage up, but you ain't going to want to take it 2 or 3 stages up.
Yeah, sure.
And
You're
I think, maybe you just drop them off, lights go out, sparks happen,
you ever play Pokemon Go?
Pokemon Go.
That's a retarded game. Everybody's had to play that at some point.
Is
Any,
that the phone one where you walked
yeah,
around
yeah,
and then
yeah, and you find
aimed your phone at
Pokemon.
the stuff? Yeah, I
Yeah,
tried
that's
that
the
for a
one.
minute with my brother.
Okay, I think everybody did. It hit nationwide like 2016. So
Yeah.
an interesting concept in that game that could work great with Mirandus is when you catch these Pokemon, they all have these different stats. So I didn't know how if every horse can be different all the way with.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's like 3 different stats. I don't know what horses will be. Maybe like what would horse stats be? Strength and speed and
Agility, durability,
yeah,
and
just about.
loyalty, I guess.
I guess you could have a bunch of them, right? So like
Excuse
you
me.
could have those bars go to 1 to 100 or 20 to 100, whatever, and just numbered 1 to 100 on each bar, and each horse could be different on the breed. So you could like virtually almost never have the same horse in the entire game. So I don't know how cool that would be. A perfect horse would be like 100s, right? That'd be something Gal would sell in their store, like their spider tag game. Here's the ancient, right? For like, I don't know, how much does one of those ancients cost?
You're gonna make me demand you delete this at the end of this show, right? You're killing it.
I'm telling you, they got it set up where you can't win, man. You can't own it all, man. And it's great. It's great that anybody can come in at any point in time and they still feel like they got in on the beginning, right? Even if it was selling horses and I'm getting the best horse, and they just need to take it to your stable to breed it. And
That's
they
all right. Your
pay you the
first 2
coin.
horses. If I want a horse, so you're gonna have to pay in horses.
Right.
I'm getting a hold of them horses one way or another.
But you get that really good horse and you breed it with this okay horse, right? And you get all right horse.
Yeah, but see, I think they're gonna have that, so you can only breed the horses so many times, either a year, or it only can breed so many
Maybe
times per life or
seasons,
something.
maybe seasons, right? If there are
Yeah,
seasons.
because that will slow the whole process of you trying to take your crappy horse and breed it across with
Yeah.
my good horse, thinking that you're going to get a better horse, because the person that owns the good horse ain't going to want to do that. They're going to want to use that horse with another higher end horse, try to make that money either as the stud fee or as the filly or mare's side and produce the baby horse. My
Yeah,
brain is not
that's
working right
that's
now.
a good observation. I like that. I like that observation with the yeah, lifetime. You can only breed maybe once a lifetime, twice a lifetime max, right? That's cool. I think that's cool. So like you got this horse, but it can only breed one or two times. I don't know. Maybe they sell something in the store. They can breed more times. I don't know. I don't know how the
Yeah,
design.
I don't mind if they breed more times. It just needs to have some kind
Yeah,
of
you're right. You're
limitation
right.
so
There
the
needs to be a
market
limitation.
doesn't get saturated.
Well, if
Especially the
that,
more
what's the
rare the
sink?
horse.
What's the sink on a horse?
Like, we already know they're going to kill our horses, so I don't really understand the NFT side to that yet. But
But will it be old age?
could be old age. You could get it like walk through the forest, like we were saying that one time, and a
Yeah.
troll or ogre
Yeah, I know a
reaches out
troll
and
could kill
throws you
you,
from the
but I'm
horse.
curious if they would go from old age. Like, do they wear down? Do they become slower? Can you recycle your horse into like meat because it's becoming so
Yeah,
slow?
yeah, saddlebags. You get to keep your horse with you for the rest of your life.
Insane. I think sinks are going to be important though, man, because either that or just like you said, like this horse is new. It can only breed one time or two times max, right? And then you can't breed it
Yeah.
no more. That's a cool
Well, we're
feature.
learning that NFT burns are becoming a norm at this point because we're seeing more other projects do the same thing. Star Atlas has a stage where it's safe to be in this zone. The next zone you don't get blown up, but you get beat up. But you go in the deep space and you get
Yeah,
your ship's on full
that
line. So
that was like
we know
CSC, man.
Mirandus is going to lean. Yeah, we
They
know
should.
Mirandus is probably going to lean to something like that.
They should. That keeps it real, right? And it makes the game that much
Yeah.
more interesting when
How
there's real
valuable
loss.
is what you want to go out there and get? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Are
How
you,
well are you taking care of your horse, right? You just can't just jump off this
yeah,
thing, go kill some monsters. Oh shit, your horse is getting killed.
yeah, or jump off a cliff thinking like in WoW you can just fall from a 400-foot cliff and just keep running.
Hey, the test servers I could. Yeah.
So
All right. All right. Okay, so how we get our horses, how we breed our horses, if our horses can die or not. What can we do with our horses, right? What's the purpose of having this horse besides getting there faster? They say it's extremely important to have this horse, right? I assume getting there faster is super important. I guess pulling
well, I
goods.
believe it gives you a source of security as well because I mean if you have a horse it gets you out of a space faster, and then the higher tier the breed horse you have will probably have more combative experiences
Speaking of
because you
combat,
don't you don't have a Daenerys horse and make it just a running horse. You know what I mean?
right? I don't know, I brought this up somewhere before, but we like Zed racing. You're talking about horse racing, right?
Hmm.
McCarthy would never go for horse racing, not Miranda's, man. But if there was some
Actually, I
way,
think he said something about he wasn't like he didn't have against it because they
yeah,
brought up
I think
the
he's looking for
Coliseum
something
stuff.
better. Yeah, he's looking for something
Yeah, the
better. Maybe,
Coliseum
yes, like if you did Coliseum, you would have
Trojan
like,
horses type thing or the Trojan chariots. There you go.
yes,
That's the
now
word
you're
I'm looking
building
for.
chariots or even jousting, right?
Yeah, stuff like that. So we know he has interest in it, but I don't. I pray that he doesn't do the whole slot racing thing.
No, he won't. It won't fit the era, right? It's not part of
Yeah,
the simulation. It doesn't fit the era. So chariot racing could be ideal. Jousting could be
yeah, for
ideal,
sure.
and
That could be fun.
this adds more professions, man. Now you got wood makers making jousting sticks or chariots
Hmm.
or breeding
Metal
horse.
workers.
Yeah, breeding horses just for jousting, like based on power, right? That thrust. I don't know if that works with jousting or not, but I don't know. Your riding skill. Is there an exemplar that like in the future that'll have some sort of riding skills to do some jousting, or I don't know. That could go. You could go big with that, man, because then you could get citadels involved in like competitions, right, between the citadels for the best jouster. And
Yeah.
big prizes involved, big bragging rights for that citadel, like our champion won, right? They bring home this trophy. I don't know. Great things you could do with kind
Look
of
at the
horses like that.
Colosseum. So we know that they want to build the Colosseum at some
Yeah.
point. So where does the Colosseum land? Does it go to one to each of all the citadels, and that just adds more space to the
Yeah. It's
citadel?
another NFT, man. It's another land. Well, it's not a land
Yeah,
deed,
like a
but
vault
it's,
type scenario, right? It's going to be like a vault where you buy this, it'll be
yes,
auctioned off
like
for
the
a super high
sanctuaries.
crazy amount. Yeah, there
Maybe,
you go.
maybe. I don't know. I don't know where they'll put that out. That sounds like a land deed, but there are no more deeds, so maybe it's something that fits somewhere in there. But Coliseum's really cool. You can do a lot of different
Well,
games, right?
they could still auction it, right? They could still, and it could just attach to one of the citadels.
Yeah, possibly. But what? Yeah, I
You
don't know how
pick
that
which
works.
citadel you want to tie it to or whatever, and they figure out how to tie it in.
I don't know if they do five and they just make the, because they haven't established the plots for the citadels yet. So maybe they'll just make a Coliseum one, right? Maybe it's each
Yeah,
one they'll just auction off five of them, one for each citadel. I don't know. Who knows? Makes sense to
that'd
only
be some
have.
good money right there, dude. Whoever owns one of those
Yeah, I don't know how.
tickets to get in.
Maybe, yeah. Who knows how you make that? But you can. Yeah, you can do a
Well,
lot with horses in that too.
yeah.
Just racing or not. All right. Uh, what else?
You got gear for horses. Will we
Yeah,
have a,
I'll have tons of
a
gear.
pocket? Will we have
Saddles.
a pocket for our horses that we just put our horses away in our pockets when we need to do
Nah,
something?
you might have to. Nah, gotta think simulation, man. They gotta go somewhere with us. You gotta put them in the stables for the night or
Uh,
the hitching post. Who knows what that costs you? I mean,
yeah. So, but I mean, like, if
I imagine that's an
you
important part of the
jump off,
lower
does your horse
stables.
run off?
What's that?
I said, so like it's a simulation game. So you roll up, you don't own the stairs. Maybe you don't even own a quarter horse, which is more a little bit combat oriented, but doesn't really have the combat experience or strength that the stairs does. But say you have the next tier down, and that horse is fearful of like any kind of stuff, so it bucks, it throws you from your horse or from the saddle,
Sure,
and you got to get up and fight your objective at this point, and now your horse has ran off.
sure. Part of the stats, right?
Yeah, so like to me, I see
How
that
scared
being
does it
some of the
get?
stuff
Yeah, absolutely. How
because
scared
we
does it
have a
get?
stairs that the stairs just tells me a lot on that it has to be the highest range, and that's like the military police horses.
Sure.
Those are the ones that are.
You might go out there in the game and you just find wild horses and you bring them in and breed them. But, your best horses, you're probably going to be end up buying from the galley shop. That could be a thing too. Where you just,
Yeah,
and you could be breeding a shitty horse, man. You might get lucky and get something better. And then it's only good for one or two breeds. And maybe you breed something better. And, it's all based on chance. But
becomes one or two though, man. That's can make it hard to
I,
even want
I do
to
like
hard to
that.
get horses.
I do like that you can only breed once or twice in their lifetime or something like that. I think that's kind of a cool function.
That makes sense. I've never even thought about that.
Yeah, that's good, dude. You thought about that.
Uh,
Dude, you know where them hitching posts are going to be playing the biggest role at? Probably on them homesteads, man.
yeah, well, every town, so everybody's gonna come in and need their gear set up or whatever,
But you want to
and
always be
maybe
taking care of a horse?
no, that's what the homes. I don't think a hitching post takes care of your horse. I think that it just like
It
it's
just
basic
holds it.
feed and water, maybe just water, but it just locks your horse in place so it doesn't run off.
Yeah, so, yeah.
Somebody can't steal your horse.
Right. Well, you're right. You get to this dungeon. What do you do with your horse once you get to the dungeon? Oh, there's a homestead right here. It's got a hitching post, and we'll use that. But even if you don't want to use your horse at the time, it's not like, boom, your horse goes in your bag. It's just like World of Warcraft, right? I,
I
I
got
think
a few
McCarthy
horses
wants
in my bag.
simulation, man. So no, you need to house this thing up in a stable, and maybe you can pull them out of any stable. It can't be too real where it sucks, right? So no matter where you go, any stable, you can pull your horse out of that stable. But yeah,
So in real life, a horse can have about 16 babies in its lifetime.
listen, I like one or two,
Trying to make some money here, sir.
3 max.
I'm trying to make some money here, sir.
You're making your money off the breeders. Unless you want to be the breeder, then you need to buy the
I
horses
want
now
to be the
too.
breeder both.
You got.
I want to control the market,
You
man.
better save some money for some horses then. You know it's coming.
Hmm.
I don't know. We all talk about horses, man, but I've seen some ox pulling some wagons too. Who knows? You could be breeding that too.
I think those will come from a barn.
Sure, but you'd still be breeding them, right?
Yeah, if you got the barns, and I think you'll need the large barns probably for those.
You think breeding will happen in the barns too for that?
Oh yeah,
For other livestock, chickens and
yeah.
yada yada.
You're not breeding chickens and horse, or you're not breeding everything else in the stable.
I didn't know.
That's what the barn's for, my man. That's where you do all your
Makes sense.
craziness.
I'm
and
not a
everything.
farmer. Although I am a farmer in Mirandus.
Yeah, yeah. I was
I
gonna
just
say,
don't.
what are you talking about?
I just don't do livestock, man. They stink, right?
Eh,
Yeah,
you get used to it.
maybe. You learn to love the smell.
It's just part of life once you live in it long enough.
I don't know, man. Like, well, McCarthy said these horses, man, it's like a game within a game, man. There's a very intricate, right?
So you can make one fowl per year technically.
Right.
So
I'm
a
sure
horse is 16 years, 17 to 20 years or so.
that's a long time.
Yeah, well, we got to remember a game span is going to move quickly. So a
Yeah,
day
what's
is
games?
every
There you
6
go.
hours or so.
My horse is gonna die soon, man.
It takes you 3 months to get it up to stage where you can actually get it out on the thing, and then you got 3 months till it dies.
I don't know. I'd do the math right here on this podcast, man, but I don't know. I don't know if it'd be worth it. We'll say a year. Your horse is good for a year, maybe 2.
Yeah.
All right. What do we missing anything else? I know we're missing a lot, but I don't know. We could talk about horse. I try to keep these down to 30 minutes, and it's 36 minutes, man. I don't know. We could go forever on these horses. There's so much stuff you can do with them. It's not even all
Yeah.
horses. You get into camels, man, right? Exotic animals, right? For mounts in different zones. What are you riding around in the winter, in the tundras? Is there something for the tundras?
Yeti things, or what are those?
Yaks.
There you go. Yeah, there you go.
Boom. Now we got yaks. So, I don't know. Are we breeding horses with yaks? Gonna end up with some wow animals.
So that's how it all started. This is the pre to WoW.
I don't know. But I look for this. I look for you to see your livestock in the stores on Gala. And you're buying it. And that's cool, though. That gives that guy that's new here a chance to get in on his own profession in this game. You own the stable. He's got to breed through your stables or use your stables to house them or whatever. But that's kind of cool
Well,
that even this late in, you're getting the firsts on things like this.
Well, to my good friend that just purchased that majestic stable, if you're hearing this, we need to talk about some horses.
Yeah. You guys need to, yeah.
Really.
Although you got something good, right? You're going to breed the best stuff out of there. If that's the case. I don't know.
At this point,
Listen, we're all speculation here, man. It could not even work this way. We could have just waited this episode and be totally wrong. But I find it important just to talk about this. If anybody in Gala's listening, looking for ideas, right? I need fresh ideas. Out of the box stuff. I don't know. I'm throwing out my 2 cents worth. Whatever.
yeah, well, the stairs has technically all the stables now in it, so I'm pretty happy.
All right. I'll wrap it up here. 30 minutes? Not bad. Dang, we could have talked so much longer, dude. I'd love to go these longer, but I can't do these long podcasts.
Yeah, especially this late at night.
True that. All right. Thanks, Wolfie. Peace out.
Yeah.